that wants to like the depthiness, and then the part of you that pulls yourself out into the head about it?
Oh yeah, and I always in that struggle. Would you say is 30-year friendship?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So. Yeah.
It gets really complicated when you start to have that like signs that are square one another, an Aquarius in a Scorpio house, or Aries in the Cancer house, or yeah. Yeah.
I have quintile sun, and so is that my Aries, or is that sun?
Yeah, that's your Aries, Sun and Aries.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's quintile sun means quintile Aries?
Quintile your Sun in Aries, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, when you have Saturn, like a sort of mentally brilliant, like unique combination with the Sun, you can wield authority and you can take on responsibility in really unique, innovative, potent ways, and you have good ideas about how to occupy positions of authority without being authoritative,
So quintile was mental?
72 degrees, yeah, it's very mental, it's 72 degrees.
Energetic.
Very, and there's a brilliance about it. There's an unusual quality to it. There's hadn't thought about that before, kind of.
Quintile Venus.
Yeah, so quintile Venus, fabulous in terms of your creativity. Yeah, that which you create, and that which you value. New ways to think about discipline other than the old Capricornian models. There you go.
And what is a trine? What is trine?
Trine is a harmonious aspect, and it's 120 degrees, and it's like we're just having this lovely conversation. So yours is trine what?
Mercury.
Mercury. So again, Mercury and Saturn, when they're in a harmonious aspect, that's great for the mind, because Mercury rules communication, and Saturn also has to do with the concretizing of thought form. And so you have a stable, serious, focused mind. The serious student. Yeah, totally.
How about trine ascendant?
Trine ascendant. What is the ascendant?
Your soul's calling.
Your soul's calling. And so if Saturn is having a great conversation with that, what does that look like?
It's working good with it.
So your Saturn in Aquarius is like, okay, you're wanting to call in Libra. You're wanting to call in right human relationships. And Saturn in Aquarius is like, let's figure out how to be within a group. Let's figure out how to be my fabulous, Aquarius is all about right human relationships too. It's like showing up in your full resplendent self within the group and acknowledging others within it. So it's about, Aquarius is also about the distribution of information. So there's something for you about air signs and communication that's really working well together. To answer your question simply, Saturn says, purpose, authority, yeah, here I am to help you with your soul's calling. It's very, very positive. It's very positive. Yes?
What is sextile?
Sextile is 60 degrees. It's a harmonious as well. Sextile and trine are very harmonious. Sextile is a creative connection. They work together well, and it's just half of a trine. So you have it sextile.
Ascendant?
Your ascendant, so same thing. It's like, I hadn't thought about that before, a way to achieve what I'm meant to achieve, Yeah, sextile, trine, sometimes conjunction, harmonious aspects. Square, and quintile also harmonious. Square, opposition is neither here nor there, but more towards the challenge. Square, opposition, sometimes conjunction are more difficult, and you have to there's sort of a creative friction that has to go on. Yes?
What's MC again?
Midheaven, your career point. And for you, it's also, is it trine?
Trine MC.
Yeah, again, your Saturn is very well supported, and I definitely feel that in you. Like this responsibility comes easy to you, and showing up, and timeliness, and order, and
So midheaven, career point, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
The midheaven is the career point. The midheaven is the point in your chart that has to do with like your career, your work in the world, your dharma. And so when Saturn's working well with it, it says, yes, I will lend my support, my authority, my purpose to your standing on stage. And
so it's like a tripod that's supporting it.
Yes,
solid.
yes. That's a good way to think of a trine as a tripod, actually.
Okay.
It's like there's a great
Solid.
support. Yeah, that's a nice image, yes.
Since we're on the subject of harmonious aspects, I have a Saturn trine Pluto, so is that seriousness and distraction?
construction.
You know, what I would say about that is that, yeah, there is a willingness, a very purposeful intent to go to the depths. Like, I will walk into the depths for the transformation to occur. It would be also great for a researcher, again, because you have the focus, you have the discipline, and you have the willingness to dive in.
Why don't I go into research?
You know, you can think of it in a broader way. Maybe you're going to research what astrology. If you're falling into an abyss, the key with Saturn is to dive in, to not just fall, to dive in and just get to the bottom of it so that you can then start the breakthrough. Right. But Saturn and Pluto, very, very powerful combination. Very willing to dig in with the tough stuff.
And I can get my Saturn to start working by getting out of my head.
By thinking about mistletoe. By thinking about a little 3-year-old being
Korean
kissed on the
mistletoe.
cheek under some mistletoe and feeling all warm and little fuzzy things are sort of blah, 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 blah. So I'm just going to call you little fuzzy 3-year-old mistletoe. Yes.
Squares the sun.
Well, yes. Saturn square the sun right now. If Saturn is conjunct your sun, if Saturn is square your sun, if Saturn is opposite your sun, it's a dance about authority, and it's a dance about often the father figure. And it's the father figures over there, or the authority figures over there, and if it's square, it's sort of like until you go, okay, come on over, and until you make friends with it. And so it's challenging, it feels like a disciplining force that doesn't feel good, you know, but it gets you working and it gets you on your path. Yes.
Square Neptune.
Yeah, the dreamer versus the realist. Again, we sort of have a similar theme going. Yeah, it's like the dreamer versus the realist. And, you know, again, Carolyn Casey says, Neptune lays the tracks for the reality train to follow, which is Saturn. So if Neptune and the reality, if the Neptune is the dreamer and it's square, the tracks aren't all that certain. And so you have the dreamer, the realist, until you kind of work your way, all right, let's make my dream less dreamlike, you know, or less like, whoa, and let's bring in a little Saturn and until you meet in the middle and you're like, the little engine that could.
But I have no trine.
That's okay, that's just through your Saturn. You probably have trines elsewhere, and you don't want too many trines in your chart either, because you'll just sit on the couch.
On the couch because you don't realize that.
No, because if you have a lot of trines, you might just be like, oh, that comes easily to me, and that comes easily to me, and that comes easily to me. But if you have some squares, or if you have some tension in your chart, then you're actually going to accomplish something. Yes?
Square Venus?
Yeah, so again, it's sort of like trying to, creative discipline is hard to come by, but it's good that you have a little bit of a square because you have such strong Saturn. Oh, and also I would say mostly Venus is about trusting love. You know, it's about, with Saturn square Venus, it's about, do I dare open my heart? Do I dare do this? And because I might get squashed, or I might say somebody, no, the barrier might come down. So I guess what I want us to leave with tonight is the sense of what? Authority. Breathing in our own authority. Can do. Groundedness. Not blaming. Looking at how we're the casting directors of our lives. The minute somebody is in your life that you're like, it's all because of her. What did I call you? The priestess girl.
Divine girl, yeah.
Then you start to have to going, oh wow, I've just totally given away all my power. Breathe it back in. And start to have the telephone conversations with the other planets. And start to work towards the rising sign. And if you don't know what your rising sign is, talk to me afterwards and I'll tell you. So that you can know what you're working towards, so that you can know what you're really wanting to call in. All right, thank you.